All right, you guys, welcome back. I have a confession to make, okay? I have not driven a Tesla in 10 years. I've driven one Tesla. It was a 2015 P85D in 2015. It's not like I've been avoiding Teslas on purpose. It's not a political thing. It's just, we kind of all know EVs are tough to get excited about. I just came back to investigate the word plaid and how it's been hijacked from these lovely people. Now, plaid is more than just a pattern. Actually, it breaks the pattern. It's something to get excited about, or at least it should be. Okay, well, first off, I've got to figure out how to use the climate control. Notoriously, everything is on the screen here. Now, that was the case in the P85D, but things have changed a little bit. And I'm not very good at multitasking. So here we go. Where are my climate controls, guys? I've been in a lot of vehicles with climate that's all on the screen here, but this is infuriating. I can never live with this. Well, that's a lie. Humans are very good at adapting. But here you go. You click on that. I still can't figure out where my fan speed is. Where's the fan speed? Oh, there we go. Oh, you have to take it out of auto first. Okay, can you guys hear me now? So obviously, I'm exaggerating a little bit. We can get excited about electric cars. I've gotten excited about electric cars, and you guys have seen me drive a few that have put a smile on my face. And one of them was the 2015 P85D when I drove that in 2015. It was brand new. The other two EVs that I really got genuinely excited about were the Lucid Air Grand Touring, which I drove. The Sapphire was not out yet. And then the Ioniq 5N. Notoriously innovative in the way that it simulated gear shifts and makes cool noises, and just the way it distributed torque and the settings you could play with in that car were still to this day unlike anything that's on the market. So when the P85D came out in 2015, it was the quickest accelerating four-door sedan on the market. Easily. It was on par with the other vehicles of the time, the other gas-powered vehicles. Panamera Turbo S, some equivalent Audis, but anything else that's electric that we know today that can do 9-second quarter miles, the Lucid Air Sapphire. This is insane, by the way. I'm like, how do you manage this on a day-to-day basis? Doesn't make any sense to me. Anything that we know now that does 9-second quarter miles, that just defy the laws of physics, the Lucid Air Sapphire. This car I'm in today has long since left the gas-powered stuff in the dust. Now that that's happened, Tesla has to do something else. They need to bring something else to the table other than just raw power, raw acceleration. You know, this, while it is ridiculous, can get a little bit old. Maybe you won't get used to it, but there's only so much drama that can be had from it, right? Like here we are, 60 kilometers an hour. Just stupid fast. Let's stop talking for a second. We're gonna do a full-on drag launch. Drag strip. Conditioning for peak performance. Now, I don't remember the P85D having to do any of this. It did not have drag strip mode. While we wait for, okay, 2 minutes remaining for the conditioning for drag strip mode, but we'll do a launch. Okay, contrary to popular belief, I do not drive everywhere. I have been riding my e-scooter a lot lately, especially over at the track, but when I actually want to stretch my legs a bit, in comes my Highboy P7 e-bike. It basically takes everything that's great about a mountain bike, but enables me to go a lot further than I would have otherwise been able to, and with a lot more power. First off, it's quick. The 48-volt, 14.5 amp hour battery gives it a max range of 109 kilometers or 68 miles while using the pedal assist, and a top speed of 20 miles an hour or 32 kph. Cat's out of the bag though, you guys. In my experience, it'll easily do 38 kilometers an hour in level 5 power mode. It does get up to speed real quick. And yeah, it's easy to get lazy and just let the 500-watt motor do all of the work, using the 27.5-inch tires for greater efficiency than a smaller setup. It's still a mountain bike though, and happy to hit the trail, the beach, rain, mud, whatever situation you find yourself in. 80 millimeters of travel with the hydraulic suspension helps with that, but also the Shimano 7-speed gear set made it easy to climb hills. It's been such a great companion so far this spring. So if you guys do want to check out the P7 e-bike behind me, you can use our code for 7% off the P7, Marcus P7. The link is in the description. Now back to the video. Preparing for launch. Suspension's lowering, entering cheetah stance. Ready to launch. Let's go. That is the quickest accelerating vehicle I've ever driven. Other than my insides being completely demolished, there is no drama. There's really no drama. It's, if we just kind of roll into the power. I mean, you're in the power for a split second, and you're allegedly breaking every speed limit. Just insane. Let's go through some drive modes, shall we? Acceleration is in chill. What is chill according to Elon Musk? Oh, that's really chill. Oh, wow, that's actually really nice. It's still quick, but it's like a 350 horsepower vehicle. We'll put it in sport. Wow, that's maybe 550 if I had to guess. 600 horsepower, still slower than a Lucid Air Grand Touring, but now Plaid, we get the full beans. Just over 1,000 horsepower here. That is more than double what the P85 had. The charging speed is more than double as quick here versus the P85D, and the range has increased significantly. However, the battery isn't actually that much bigger. I believe in the P85D, it was a 85 kilowatt hour battery. Here it's 100 or just over 100 kilowatt hours. Nothing in particular really stood out as exceptional in the P85D other than the electric torque that was just still so bizarre at the time. It was just tough to describe, but now it's tough to find someone who's never had the experience. Back then it was folklore. That was really it. The other thing that was such a big deal in that car was the self-driving. I'm not sure what exactly they called it at that time. I don't know if Tesla called it autopilot at that time, but I remember I was testing autopilot in 2015 in scenarios where now it would have no problem doing it, but I had such high expectations. I'm like, it's autopilot, it's here now, the future's here. I was so dumb, and I mean, I was 20 years old and naive, and looking back, it's kind of funny because I remember one scenario where I was going into like a 90-degree kind of slight bend on a residential street, and I had it in autopilot, and I was fully expecting it to just take the turn. And of course, it kind of freaked out, and I had to take over and steer. I didn't know what to do. Now, that would be no problem, but I had such high hopes, and that was, we thought that car was revolutionary. We thought it was. It was bold. I don't think it was revolutionary, though. First off, build quality on the interior here is remarkable compared to the P85D. When I drove that P85D, there were creaks coming from places where the materials in the interior would rub up against each other, rattles and stuff. Again, this was 10 years ago. I'm gonna have to go back to the video to watch, but the seats, when I rolled up to this Tesla Model S Plaid, I thought these were M seats. They look to me exactly like BMW M3 seats, and they're great. Oh yeah, okay, I'm in comfort. Let's go into, there you go. You can actually adjust ride comfort and handling for your suspension separately, which of course would be your ride compliance, how comfortable it is. God, the speed you can carry is insane. But also how you want the dampers to react when you're really pushing it. It gives me real-time compression and rebound kind of graphics here. We are in low ride height mode as well. It's like a Ferrari. If you've ever driven a Ferrari, I don't know, maybe you guys have. See, like my normal hand positions don't work here. If you've ever driven a Ferrari, you know the turn signals are on the steering wheel. Although it's a little bit easier in that car because it's one for the right, one for the left. Here, they're both on the left. So the Plaid has a different steering rack. It's a really quick and responsive steering rack. I wouldn't say there's a ton of feel. There's that tunnel vision coming in again, as cliche as that sounds. Silent but deadly, as they say. You can feel it, you know, dialing in the torque, not immediately, not exactly when I put my foot to the floor and ask for it, but it is doing some, what feels like magic behind the scenes. There's no flashing kind of stability control, traction control coming on, but it's moving the weight around brilliantly. It's as composed as you would need a vehicle this quick to be. It takes a lot longer to get used to 1,000 horsepower than it did about 470 horsepower. I mean, road manners are incredible, visibility's great. When the P85D came out, it was just a different time, you know. First off, politics were not a thing. Elon Musk was not as notorious, for better or worse, as he is today. He was always, well, at that time, he was kind of a savior to a lot of you guys for saving the planet. Somehow that's kind of switched, even though he's still saving the planet. Strange how that works. But it wasn't politicized in 2015, and Tesla's got a bit of baggage now. The focus needs to shift, and has, and we see this with the Model 3 Performance. It needed to shift to a more well-rounded vehicle. There's more pressure than ever in 2025 for Tesla to engineer something that's as well-rounded as it possibly can be, as world-class in handling, power, dynamics, livability as all the top-tier manufacturers. We could forgive that a little bit more in 2015.
Hi, I'm Viva, and this is my 2024 Tesla Model S Plaid. A very normal Plaid, too. It's so normal. It's the most normal of all. They're definitely not normal cars. There is a bit of a learning curve to, I guess, optimizing it for your lifestyle. I was interested in getting a Model S Performance since I was like 14. It was actually my first attainable dream car that wasn't a Lamborghini. I would have preferred a regular steering wheel. My other S has a regular steering wheel. It's an acquired taste, to say the least, but you get used to it and it's really not that bad. But I've driven this on the track, and the yoke is not a good wheel for track driving. I will be buying a regular steering wheel for this car because it just kind of needs that. I think my favorite thing about this car is the fact that it can be just a completely normal daily driver without any crazy stuff going on, without any crazy jank or worries, and maintenance is super low. And mine has free supercharging, so I don't have to pay a dime anywhere I go. I drove down to Texas and back, and it cost me a grand total of $0. Well, I had a flat tire, so that cost me a lot of money actually, but aside from that, it's generally a pretty cheap car to own. I had it in mind before I bought the car that I was going to be building it up for track usage. Obviously, I still want it to be a dailyable car, but I want to do some time attack stuff purely for fun. I take it to autocross. I've taken it to 3 autocross events so far, and I have a Laguna Seca track day this summer. I'm gonna probably go up to Area 27 as well here in BC. I've signed up for 2 of those days. The biggest problem is the brakes, which everyone complains about the brakes. And dailying this car, the brakes are so good. The last time that I went to a track day with this car, I did 2 hot laps back to back, and on the second lap, it completely overheated the brakes. So I lost most of my brake feel, and I entered a corner slightly too hot, and I almost lost control of the car. And because of the yoke, the corner of the yoke actually clipped my nail and almost ripped it off. And there was a lot of blood. It was not a great time. I wouldn't recommend that you track one of these without upgrading the brakes and the steering wheel, which is exactly what I'm doing. I want to be able to do it without hurting myself again. This car eats suspension components. The biggest problem that I have had is I have had 2 warranty appointments for this car for control arms failing. Actually, right now, the bushing on my right control arm on the front of the car is no longer working correctly. So there is a noticeable creaking noise. This car has about 8,000 miles, and it should not have that problem this early on. If you're going to be tracking these cars, you should upgrade. I have a bunch of parts from Mountain Pass Performance on order, so sway bars, some upgraded control joints, the works basically. If you do that, they're very reliable. You can find me over at Ivico Music. I actually am releasing a whole bunch of new music this summer. Music is how I'm able to have fun with cool, or I guess depending on who you ask, super uncool cars like this. I don't make metal music. I know someone's gonna ask. I don't make metal music. I'm sorry.
All right, you guys. I know we're, I don't know, halfway through the video, but this is my first genuine reaction. It's my first time being in a Plaid, and it's my first time experiencing launch control, and we're just gonna let it rip.
As you can see, preparing for launch.
It's lowering right now.
Yeah, it's lowering. So we're ready to launch.
I'm so glad I haven't eaten today.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
My phone just like flew out of my pocket, by the way.
That is incredible.
Yeah, no, it is. No, it's crazy. It's like we're going 75 right now. If I
Yeah.
fly.
Woo. Yeah. Bro.
So that was 100 miles an hour.
Bro, that is, oh, I can't even like, yeah, that's insane, dude. You know, I've said before to you guys, I don't care about 0 to 60 times, and I don't. You know, if you showed me a car that does 1.9 seconds 0 to 60 or 2 seconds 0 to 60 as the Plaid does, or a car that does 2.3 or 2.4, I don't care. First off, you don't really feel that. That's not what I'm after in a car. So the Plaid, I don't want to say it gets old quick because I can respect the engineering behind it. It is an impressive car. It's not a forever car. Do you get what I'm saying? To me, this is not a forever car. So your standard white Tesla Model 3 represents conformity. It tells me you're asleep at the wheel, both metaphorically and literally. The Plaid disrupts that just enough to leave a lasting impression. It's a comfortable daily that also happens to run 9s and throw torque down flawlessly, but it doesn't feel like it runs much deeper than that. It's impressive, but in 50 years from now, a friend of your second cousin won't be telling any stories about a Model S Plaid barn find. I'll see you in 10 years.